Guys, it's Stefan from the Hypomanic Entrepreneur. Today I want to talk about the topic developing business process. What are the stages for developing new business processes? How do you add on additional work that can create more value for your business, and how can you develop these processes so that they become an actual part of the business and become become a more integrated part of the business and become a natural, so that they can be performed with less time spent and perform more value with less effort exerted upon this type of work. So this is a very uh, general perspective on business process in general. So this can be both applied to the sales process, and it can be applied to product development. It can be applied to reporting work, compliance, and so on. So try to concretize this what I'm going to say here about on a more abstract level to your experience, what you are used to from your own work experience, your own projects, and see if this makes sense to you based on your situation. Let me know in the comments what you all think. So what I found is that there's basically 7 stages in developing a process, and let's just go right into what these 7 are. So in the beginning, when they're in the beginning of developing a new process, it's the identification of a need. There's something that either needs to be done, or there's a potential for value that makes you do something that you haven't done before. You're taking on new risk, you're exploring into the unknown because there's something you need to be able to get done, whether that be, okay, maybe there's a new law or regulation that you need to comply to, or maybe that there's some changes in the market, there's a new technology, or there's some other market conditions that you need to adjust to, maybe, or you see another opportunity and you need to figure out how to adjust to those changing circumstances in the best way possible. Or maybe you're entering a new market and you have to figure out what kind of processes that must be established in order to prepare for and get everything in order to get to that new market. And so that's step 1, is identifying, okay, what do you actually need this for? What is the value proposition here? For why are we taking on more work to why are we taking on more work by developing this new process? And from there, it's in order to get the process really established, you need to do some experimentation, right? Because this is something you haven't done before. You need to experiment a bit, and it's a process to figure out exactly how things are to be done. And you won't get it perfectly right immediately, but you're doing this continual improvement, and then eventually figuring out more of what works, what doesn't work. And then when you finally finish with stage 2, then you have a process that more or less works fairly good for the purposes provided. It and can be done again and again to get further results towards the value proposition, what you need to do. And then step 3 of this process of the development of this process is to document it. So I know a lot of people skip this step, and I explained in my last video why it's important to document processes. So be sure to check that video out as well. So because when you document the process, you make it easier both for yourself and for others to check check later exactly the steps and details of how it is to be done, so that you don't miss anything. It's easier with onboarding processes, and there is so much less risk, so much lower risk for things to go wrong with this process in the future. So when you have documented and clearly stated, okay, this is how the process is done, it's also easier to see, okay, how can this actually be done in a more efficient way. So there's things several things that can be done to see how this can be done in more efficient ways. One, I would say, is standardizing the process. So this is part of what we've already done in step 2 and 3 with experimenting and documenting, but it's also important to kind of pack it in and see, okay, how can this be what specifically are the steps that are done each time? What are the things that are different each time? If this is something that is done regularly, is okay, are we always following the same steps, or are there some things that vary time from for each time, and then trying to figure out, okay, how can we make this standardized if possible, and while simultaneously also including the flexibility that is necessary for the purposes. So yeah, that's one thing. And then there's to optimize the processes. So basically seeing, okay, which steps are included right now, okay, which steps may we be able to do a bit more efficiently, maybe in a better and different way. And that leads us also to step 6, which is automating the process, and seeing when we have standardized, documented, optimized a lot of these things, okay, is it possible to automate some or all of these steps, and then seeing if that can be done in a reasonable way without expanding the risk, without sacrificing the quality of and results of the process. And if that can be done, that's great. Okay, then you automate that process, and you get more time and resources on your hand to go to step 7, which is to expand the process. See, okay, are there additional things that can be done in this process? Can this process be expanded with new and different tasks to create more value, create more reliability, to actually strengthen the value proposition or needs that the process was established for to begin with. So, and when you're doing this step 7 of expanding this, it goes back to a loop to the other steps in these stages. So you go back to step 3 with documenting, okay, documenting what the updated version is, and then you go back to, okay, standardizing, optimizing, automating, expanding, and then there's this loop from there, because that just shows you that there's so much scalability potential when you actually apply this methodology and the technology available to optimize and automate processes like this, that you can always do more, create more value and do more work with less time. And I think that's really, really powerful. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you all think, if this kind of abstract explanation makes sense to you from your experience, or if you have any questions for what this may mean for you in practice. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you all later.